Here we go. We're tuning in. Thank you guys for watching today. I'm with my great friend here in Orlando, Florida, Alex House. We met back in college. He's gone on to play professionally with the Houston Astros for a few years. One of the most talented pitchers I've ever seen, and definitely a great friend of mine. And I'm thankful to have you on today to kind of relay some information to these younger players out there. Especially the ones back in northern Indiana. It's kind of like the dark ages there in a sense when it comes to baseball. So sometimes I'm able to explain things to them, but it's always great to get a chance to speak with another professional in the game of baseball. So maybe just a little bit of background about yourself, Alex, starting out with the game of baseball. Where did your first passions begin and your love for the game start out?
So, my dad played ball, played a little bit professionally, and played at University of Florida and a few other spots. And, kind of just first thing that I had whenever I was a little kid was a baseball and a little plastic bat and a tee in my hand I used to hit in the house. Yeah. And, break a few windows here and there. So, it was kind of just always came naturally. Mm-hmm. And, my parents always said I always had a ball in my hand, and, I was just waiting for my dad to get home after work just so I can play catch, or him sit on a bucket and catch me. That's the best memories I have, honestly, in baseball. Everything I've done, that's one of my best memories, is being out there with my dad playing catch.
Man.
And, went to Lake High School here in Orlando, went on to possibly sign a professional contract out of high school, declined it, went to FAU, had a great 3 years there, went on and got drafted in 2017 with the Houston Astros, had a great experience, and don't regret anything.
Man, that's awesome. And it's just amazing to think back when you were first starting to play catch with your dad, and how it could have been a medium ground that you both enjoyed that really could have strengthened your relationship. And with that, and it's something I always speak with about my players, is that this game isn't necessarily about making it to the major leagues. That may be our goal and our ambition to begin with, but along the way, we're going to form some great relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So have you kind of experienced that along the way?
No doubt. I mean, ever since I was 8 years old, and I was on my first travel team and everything, I'm still great friends with all those guys. I mean, we all had the same passion, and we all wanted to go out there and beat whoever we were beating, and I still talk to those guys every day.
Wow, that's incredible. Man, and just to think, a lot of times I like to think of people that are doing well in the game of baseball, developing their skills, spending the time with it to improve, and being curious and getting out there and learning more material, stuff like that. Maybe some of the guys that you played with then, how are they doing now, later down the road, with whatever it is that they might be into and stuff?
A lot of them, we form great relationships and connections no matter what, if you make it to the highest level or not.
Absolutely.
They all went to good schools, have a great career, all doing something successful. A lot of them went to go play baseball, maybe didn't make it as far as the other person, but they also got to share that experience and be able to relate and make connections that brought them to where they're at now.
Absolutely, and even us, we got into it and pursuing it for that the major league career and those sorts of things. But now that we are in the game and professional for a few years, things of that nature, we realize all the other components that benefit us, with our time, through our time with the game of baseball. I know myself personally, and maybe you could speak to the same, is first generation college graduate. I would have probably never went on to go to college, especially not a school like Florida Atlantic, had it not been for my love and passion with the game. But then next thing I know, I'm 22 years old and I have a college degree, that sort of thing. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Man. So what is it that you're up to now? We're here in Orlando at the Dugout. This facility, I must say, first of all, is beautiful. I mean, it's a large complex. I'm so glad. I don't know how you made the connection here, but I'm so glad you did, and you were able to bring me in and just be around and get some of my personal work in. And I thank you for helping to prepare me for my next journey with this 2020 season. But here at the Dugout in Orlando, Florida, you're running the House of Arms Pitching Academy,
yes,
right? And
yes.
What else do you do while you're here? What all does that encompass, the Dugout and House of Arms Academy?
Well, I came home from my first year of professional ball, and I was working out, throwing, and hanging out with family and friends, and I'm like, man, I gotta keep myself busy here. So, I put on mine that, I was able to give some pitching lessons here and there. I've never done it before, but I said, hey, I'm a pitcher, I do what I do, why can't I teach someone else? So I had my first player, and I'm like, man, I'm pretty good at this. So then one player turned into 2 to 3, word got around, and like I said, making connections and building great relationships with people around this area. I was able to run across Chad Lee, who owns the facility, the Dugout.
Wow.
And he goes, hey, come on over here. This could be your spot. And that's how House of Arms kind of formed. And now we're running pitching lessons and all types of stuff, and trying to get these kids to not only better themselves to get to the next level, to whatever that may be, but also building them as young men and trying to teach them the right way about going about how they walk around, how they approach people, how they can make connections with other people and build their life.
Absolutely, and that's something that we think about or talk about is, in a way, baseball didn't make us. We made baseball what it is to us. And what I mean by that is, when we're at the field, we're working to become excellent there, and we're spending our time to be as great as we can be there. But then when we go home, and this is key for those that are listening, especially young athletes, that now, instead of being the best baseball player that I can be, I'm looking to be the best friend that I can be, the best son, the best brother, things of that nature. Or if I'm in the classroom, the best student that I can be. And it's something that's trained. It's a muscle in your brain that can really, over time, you need to keep flexing and training that to expand and to grow in those sorts of ways. So one group that I really am interested in appealing to is the 17-year-old, 18-year-old player who may have ability but has not received interest from collegiate, programs and things of that nature. What would be your advice to them? Because they may be considering, I don't know if I need to go to college, I just want to go to work, right at 18, stuff like that. Or maybe they just don't know how to go about reaching out to these universities, or even if they've ever thought about marketing themselves and stuff like that. What would you say to that 17 and 18-year-old kid that's in that position right now?
Well, I'm a big believer, and I know this for a fact, that if you want to go play somewhere, there's somewhere out there for you. Also, another thing is, whenever you are a little bit younger and you are looking for a travel ball organization, it's not always about who you pay the most to go out and play, because you don't know if you're going to play. As a young player, we need reps, we need innings, we need at-bats. That's the way you get out there and get yourself better, and it's about your development.
Absolutely, and that's a great point. And sometimes we get carried away with the winning. Teams want to win, they want to get things done now, or certain velocities at a certain age, which is just seeming nearly irrelevant, because that is the result.
Yeah.
We need to be focused on the process, for
Absolutely.
sure.
And your development is the biggest thing. Obviously that's the way you get better, and it's not about who's going to win the most tournaments or who's this or that. Now, I do think that you need to focus on bettering yourself by being around great competition, but it's not always about being on what team wins this and what team wins that. It's about how many reps are you going to get, how many at-bats are you going to get, who's going to be there, what are you going to do, all that stuff.
Absolutely, and we lose sight sometimes as coaches that are maybe managing these teams that they want to win. They want to win this tournament. They want to, and this is something that we talked about from a different aspect, is at the end of the day, it's not even if they achieve major league success, it's not about them achieving major league success. It's about the development of the person through the game of baseball, because just because you're a major league player does not make you a good person. And we see that with athletes in all different areas, so we need to keep the emphasis in the right places. And I think that's major, that your success or the amount of success that you make in the game doesn't define you as a person. And what defines you as a person is, several other attributes and characteristics that can be developed through the game of baseball, but are utilized through anywhere in life.
Yeah.
And you can find a way to serve.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can find a way to serve, society and the community in ways that are even much greater than a game.
Yeah.
Oh man. So with that being said, I know today, Alex, he's a very busy guy. I was so fortunate to be able to get him to sit down and talk today and share some of this information. And so with that, what is a message that you would have for the young athletes, the coaches, and the families that are kind of listening in now that you might want to say that's a personal note for you that you would like to share?
One thing that we all want to strive for greatness, and let's just say we'll put it in the baseball aspect. If you want what you want, you got to go out and get it. It's not going to be at home sitting on the couch. Every single rep you do, absolute focus, laser focus. Anything in life, schoolwork, baseball, anything, laser focus. If you want to achieve what you want to achieve.
And with that laser focus, there was a couple players that you had referenced to me before that kind of came to mind. Can you tell me kind of who that would be, where you met them, and kind of where they're at now that utilize the exact thing that you're talking about right now?
There's been a bunch of players in my career that I've ran across that, they're always really, really good baseball players that achieved more than what anyone ever thought. One player that I can really think of is Tyler Frank. Went to FAU with us. Came in as a freshman, wasn't ever a catcher, but decided that he needed a catcher just to make the team better.
Absolutely.
But every single rep he did was laser focused. Everything he did was absolute focus. And now he went second round to the Tampa Bay Rays, and now he's in their organization doing what he does best.
And isn't it amazing? I would have to say he would be an outstanding man, an outstanding friend, and then thirdly, an outstanding ball player. And that's kind of the order that it goes, and that's how we should kind of keep our focus. So with that, that pretty much sums it up. I think that there's a lot of valuable information there. People are going to really appreciate you coming and kind of sharing this time with me to get some information across. So with that, Alex, I thank you, man, and I'll let you get back to your lessons. Thank you guys all for watching. We really appreciate it. Keep tuning in. There will be several more guests coming on. We were fortunate to have a professional athlete on today to share some of his experience and knowledge as far as the development process, and that's Alex House. We're here in Orlando at the Dugout, houseofarms.com, and the House of Arms Pitching Academy. Please check him out. Check out his information. There's a lot of useful tips, drills, and tools that you can use to better your career and prolong that with the game, keeping you healthy. So again, thanks, Alex.
Absolutely.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.